When I was a boy, I knew a good man who spoke about God. My parents took me to his church every Sunday. I listened to him talk about love and forgiveness. But then my parents died in an accident. I was alone with no one to take care of me. The pastor took me in and became like a father to me. He gave me food, clothes, and taught me about God. However, life with the pastor was not easy. Sunday school was a must for me. The pastor made sure I attended every week, and I had to sit in the front row. I felt like I was being watched all the time, and I couldn't make any friends. The pastor's wife was not very friendly. She kept to herself and didn't talk much. I tried to stay out of her way. As I grew older, I started to notice strange things happening in the house. I was 18 when I realized that something was wrong. I would have sleep paralysis, and the next day my anus would be very painful. It usually happened the day before Sunday. I couldn't understand why this was happening to me. I felt scared and alone. I didn't know who to talk to or what to do. One day, the pastor called me into his office and told me that he wanted me to take over the church. He said that he had been preparing me for this role all along, and that I was the chosen one to carry on his legacy. I was shocked and unsure if I was ready for such a responsibility. That night, the pastor called me into his bedroom. I entered to find him sitting on the bed with his wife. But something was off. She looked different. She was forever young and beautiful, with no signs of aging. I felt a chill run down my spine as the pastor demanded that I sleep with her. His voice was authoritative, and I felt myself jumping onto the bed without hesitation. He came from behind and raped me. I tried to move, but I couldn't. I was stuck, frozen in place. From that day on, I started seeing things. I was forever changed, and I couldn't shake off the feeling that I was living a life that wasn't mine. I was given a branch of the church to run, and I became a powerful figure in the ministry. I had a wife, but I was sleeping with multiple men every week. I had all the money and support I could ever want, but it wasn't enough. I felt empty and unfulfilled. I would preach sermons that I didn't even remember, and I wondered where I was leading these people. I saw them coming to church every Sunday, looking for guidance and hope, but I felt like I was deceiving them. I was living a lie, and I didn't know how to stop. Sleeping with 7 different men a week was taking a toll on me. It was exhausting, both physically and emotionally. I felt like I was losing myself, like I was just a shell of the person I used to be. I knew I needed to be stronger, more powerful to keep up this charade. But at what cost? I felt trapped, like I was living in a never-ending nightmare. I didn't know how to escape, or even if I wanted to. I had become so entrenched in this life that I didn't know who I was anymore. I was just a puppet, dancing on strings pulled by the pastor and his wife. And I didn't know how to cut the strings. Years have passed, and the pastor is still leading me. I've tried to seek help, but every time I think I've found a way out, I'm pulled back in. I've tried to talk to other prophets, but they seem to be afraid of the pastor. They whisper warnings to me, telling me to be careful, but they won't take a stand against him. I feel like I'm drowning in this sea of deceit, and I don't know how to keep my head above water. Just the other night, I was planning to go to another prophet for help. I had heard that he was different, that he wasn't afraid of the pastor. I was going to tell him everything to beg for his help. But as I was planning my escape, the pastor called me. His voice was low and menacing, and it sent shivers down my spine. "Don't go to him," he warned. "You'll only get hurt if you keep poking the eye." I didn't know what he meant, but I knew I had to listen. I couldn't take the risk of crossing him. So I stayed, trapped in this life of lies and deceit.